Ideas Festival October 8th will address why the LGBTQ plus community doesn't work together. In 2022, the LGBTQ plus community will face more attacks from the GOP, from evangelicals, from health and virus issues, and more. So when SMART Ride and Hotspots Happening Out television network announced a new South Florida approach to these incredible challenges, it got Queer News Tonight's attention. On October 7th and 8th, 2022, a live in-person and live television broadcast will happen called the LGBTQ Plus Ideas Festival. The festival will include the embracement of SMART Ride, the November 165-mile ride from Miami to Key West that has a $15 million goal in reach. SMART Ride 19 benefits many health, HIV, and other programs in the Florida community. But this is something more. The festival will focus on 10 areas of need, whose sole goal is to create new ideas that can start the conversation of solutions. One of the key areas will bring SMART Ride Executive Director Glenn Weinzimmer together with 6 nonprofit organizations and their executive directors to discuss one need for collaboration and cooperation of LGBTQ plus organizations and why that frequently does not happen. The conversation may be a springboard model that can be replicated throughout the LGBTQ plus community for the value of creating success. This is just one of the major features of conversation at the SMART Ride LGBTQ Plus Ideas Festival presented by Hotspots Happening Out television network. The festival will be held at Sunshine Cathedral's Sunshine Performing Arts Center, and a limited number of tickets are available for just $10. That includes continental breakfast and lunch. There's also a Friday and Saturday night party. A feature is the Marsha P. Johnson New Ideas Prize, which will award $5,000 to the best idea generated, and you can enter that contest. Get complete information and more at happeningout.com/ideas.
Wow.
That was a mouthful.
That is a mouthful. So this kind of, when this came up, when I approached them about this, it kind of reminds me of how Smart Ride started. I came up with an idea and I said, I'd love to get our 6 agencies together because they represent so much diversity in our state and they work together, which is so rare in this community. And so somehow that let's get 6 people around a round table turned into an all day, thanks to Al Ferguson, Ideas Festival that is going to address everything from health and HIV and health in the LGBT community, working with the Black community and how they're disproportionately affected, working with Latino and that community and how they're affected, just different from, say, the white gay man, and how all those issues affect our community and how it's all interrelated. So I personally am very excited about this collaboration and bringing in experts from different areas to talk about what can we do as a community to make us better and function better and work with each other. Yeah. So I'm very excited about that. And it's also launched us into, for the ride itself, bringing a lot of organizations on to have a visual presence on the ride this year, which to me is really important. So we've got like Save on it, we've got Poverello, SunServe. There's gonna be lots of different organizations, the Trans Medical Consortium. So yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
Am I the only one surprised that something like this hasn't been done down here in South Florida before? Because, God, we're all about solutions, right? But we all can't sit at the same table and figure them out. Like, I don't understand why that is.
And there are so many organizations. It's a shocking, even for an area so small, it's a shocking number of organizations. So,
which shows you that there is a desire to support the community.
Right.
It's just coming from so many different perspectives.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Brilliant.
I mean, and I think one of the biggest challenges, or maybe it won't be that much of a challenge, is when you start to highlight where these organizations align. And, we know that there are power in numbers. So being able, instead of scraping for resources, right, each year everyone is making their files for fundraisers and grants and all that stuff. Yeah. Instead of that, come together and really, figure out what resources can support each other. You might have someone on your team that's a killer web designer who can really drum up some SEO, whatever. I'm not a techie guy, okay? But you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. So I'm a visionary.
Right.
So if there's understanding our strengths and weaknesses, those are the things that help us get things done.
And you should be a part of this thing. You should be at that table.
I would really, I would love to sit at that table.
Wow.
And you will, and we need this. I mean, there's so much, we have so many issues and so many things thrown at us from outside our community, right? But then we don't stop and think about all the crap shit that we've got in our own community, within each other, We've got huge issues with the trans community. When I hear people that don't want to bring the tea along, I'm always like, it's like, like Melania wearing a bad dress. I'm like, what? How is that possible, right? But it's a fact.
Yeah, right.
It's a fact that is not a fact to me, but it's a fact to other people. Like if we're all sitting at the table, somebody might come up with a problem that you might have the answer to.
Exactly.
Or a problem that you didn't think anybody else suffered from like you do. I mean, there's just so much there, Glenn.
Yeah, there's so much self-awareness that can happen from
And
this.
can we talk about the $5,000? Because I'm broke.
Oh, yeah.
So
So the
tell me
person that
about
comes
that.
up with the best idea, and I think this is going to actually motivate a lot of smart riders, they can win $5,000 that weekend, and they can do what they wish with it. So if you want to be, we won't use the word selfish, but if you need to enhance your life and there's some needs you have,
Selfish.
you can use
These are
that.
not being selfish. Maybe I need them to be
I think they're
redone.
pretty-
That'll give me a good down
They're
payment.
pretty perky on that.
Yeah,
I don't know that you really need
what's
it
wrong
for
with them?
there.
What's the deadline to enter the ideas?
The ideas can happen starting now and all the way through that day. And then that evening, that Saturday night, will be the announce of who will win the $5,000.
Wow.
And there will be no presentation or anything? Like, are there any semifinalists or anything like that? Just the
Al
winner?
hasn't told me that. Like, he ran with that part of it and
All
came
right,
to
somebody
me.
go to the trunk of my car where I put Al and ask him, and then close the
And then
hood
close
again.
it hard, yeah,
Make sure that little hole is still open.
just so we can breathe a
Sort
little
of.
bit. That's enough to keep him on Lifeline. Yeah, yeah. So they're gonna. It's gonna be announced that evening, and there will be a panel of people that'll help make that decision of which is the best idea. But I think it's brilliant, and if we can just get our community to cooperate and work together, that's a win. That's worth more than the $5,000 to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Because
it's a win-win. Thank you, Glenn,
need
for all
live
you
music?
do.
Hey.
Hey. Maybe in the morning or during the lunch break or something.
Nice.
It'd be a bad idea to have
Wow.
entertainment
Over the
in there.
croissants. There's
There you go.
And we're going to have a training ride that morning as well. So there's going to be a lot of our organizations that have, or a lot of our teams will be out that morning early. They'll leave from Sunshine Cathedral. They'll be able to park their cars here, do a bike ride, do their 30 or 40 miles at that point. Ride back here. We'll have some rest stops and a rest stop here that people can come back and get water and Gatorade and that kind
like
of
a
thing.
practice.
Yeah, it'll be one because they
Great.
practice every weekend. They practice every day, but every Saturday and Sunday, the teams usually go out. So we're going to have a lot of the teams here that morning. They'll ride out. So if you want to see people in spandex, good, bad, or indifferent,
Yeah.
they'll be here.
Hey, listen,
Yeah,
I
nope.
just respect the 30, 40 mile
definitely.
practice, okay?
That's a big number.
Hats
Well,
off to you.
Because they're going to be practicing to do 100 miles just
Yeah,
a month
right.
later.
I know.
So, yeah.
I need more cushion in the
cushion.
to do that. Just saying. But Glenn, this is a great idea. And for folks at home, no idea is too small. You never know. Your idea might just win you or your organization $5,000. All right? Come on. People say that there's no original ideas. That's crap. All right?
That is
Send it
absolute
in.
crap.
Yours might be chosen to win that $5,000.
All right.
Okay?
LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Laura are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBTQ plus community.